Esteemed ministers, thank you for your time. My name is Captain Matthias Baird of the SES Herald of Benevolence. I have overseen hundreds of missions in the Umlau sector and have personally fought in numerous battles against the Terminid threat, not limited to the liberations of Turing and Errata Prime. We were recently relocated to the Severin sector after losing contact with our sister ship who had been stationed there at Malevolent Creek. Before I continue, I have to state for the record that I do not doubt the judgment of this institution, else I would not be here. The creek had already fallen. So many brothers and sisters gone before we even arrived. It was a slaughter. The bugs are not the real threat anymore, ministers. It's the machines. We need more resources. We need more help. We need more Helldivers.
Greetings, Helldiver. Are you ready to fight for democracy? Helldivers 2 is the best shooter I have played in a long time. If the fanfare didn't tell you, this game is epic, cinematic, and makes you want to play it. It has an amazing community that has latched onto the writing and the world building that Arrowhead, the developer, has presented and has been creating stories of their own that only enhance the strength of this community, and on top of that, make the game and world of Helldivers 2 more appealing and interesting. Out of the gate, I am encouraging you to drop a few bucks and get into Helldivers 2 as soon as you can. Give it a shot. This isn't going to be a super deep dive like my other videos. I just want to get some thoughts out of my head and to gush a little bit about this wonderful game. With that out of the way, let's jump in. If Halo, Starship Troopers, and Mercenaries Playground of Destruction were all combined, Helldivers 2 is what you would get. God, remember the Mercenaries franchise? EA doesn't want you to. Helldivers 2 has an extremely addicting game loop with plenty of room for progression and experimentation. Not only is there a large arsenal of guns, but the long list of stratagems offer an immense variety of playstyles and risks to consider. Guns, bombs, turrets, shields, landmines, Tesla coils. As a Red Alert fan, I love me some damn Tesla coils. The variety of builds you can experiment with is immense. Taking into account the two enemy factions the game has at the time of writing, being the Terminids, aka Starship Troopers Bug Threat, or the Automatons, aka lore-accurate Skynet. Having different builds based on what faction you are fighting, the number of people you are playing with, the difficulty you are playing on, forces you to have a lot of options. Dropping into a battlefield and having various objectives to run between within a set time and also just feels really good. This game reminds me of one of my favorite missions from the Halo series, simply called Halo. In Halo 1. This is the mission that you first land on the ring, and you have to rescue Marines after escaping the Pillar of Autumn. You get a few scattered objectives, and it's up to you what order you complete them in. It felt freeing, but it also felt like you were strategizing, despite the fact that upon further inspection, it really doesn't have that much of an effect on the mission. Helldivers 2 took that idea and improved it, introducing tactical objectives, which upon completion help you in various little ways, either by eliminating a difficult enemy type by destroying their nest, revealing the map by aligning a radar dish, giving you more artillery stratagems after loading 5 shells into a large artillery battery. The tactical objectives are awesome. Helldivers 2 has this while also having main objectives that, as you increase the difficulty of play, of which there are 9 difficulties, the main objective has more sub-objectives that contribute to completing it, letting you strategize the moment you select the mission and difficulty and choose your drop point. In Helldivers 2, you aren't coddled or helped. You pick your mission, you pick your kit, you pick your drop location, you make a plan, and when your plan makes contact with the enemy, you either adapt or die. It is incredible. Quick thing about movement, if you add a dive into your game, its quality increases exponentially. I don't make the rules, it's just the way it is.
It's just the way it is.
My favorite thing about the gameplay of Helldivers is how cinematic it feels at almost any given moment. Whether you're fighting tooth and nail through a swarm of enemies, calling in an airstrike, especially napalm.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
Running for your life, walking around a planet out of combat, looking out the window of your super destroyer, seeing the seemingly endless human fleets battering the war-torn surface of the contested planet, or even just loading the mission. This game has the best loading screen of all time. It doesn't get old. I have never been so excited to watch a game load in my entire life. I have zero complaints about the gameplay. It perfectly fits with the game's style of story about a military of disposable soldiers being directed by a tyrannical government with no transparency of its goals that expects absolute loyalty. Speaking of, this game leans into its over-the-top style and does not apologize for being so extremely on the nose about what it is trying to do. Not just gameplay-wise, but politically as well. Much like Paul Verhoeven's Starship Troopers, despite how the world of this game does its very best to make its dystopian future look and sound appealing with its action, music, pro-human propaganda, and its constant reminding that what you are fighting for is democracy, liberty, and freedom, to a often religious degree, anything more than a surface-level inspection offers a much darker underbelly that is a horrifying universe that you would never want to live in. That has a ministry of truth that routinely hides their intentions, a burgeoning military that not only suffers a nigh unsustainable number of losses, judging by how easy it is to join said military, but would be a force that no sane person would like to join unless forced or programmed to. War is hell, and this game does its best to make you feel like a superhero for participating. When you die, your squad mate calls in another disposable person to immediately take your place to continue the fight. If you all die, the whole squad gets replaced. There is no time to stop and think or mourn, there is only the war. When you return from a mission, you quickly do a victory dance and immediately get sent back in. There is no time off for a helldiver. Rest is for the dead. When you extract but your other squad mates don't, you return alone and have your new squad mates applauding you and cheering you on, not knowing the fate that likely awaits them on their first drop. The war machine keeps running until it runs out of bodies. The world building of this game is brilliant and oftentimes hilariously over the top with its themes, but it's easy to forget because also because this game is hilarious. The various videos that play on the ship of brash tactics with General Brash, the Helldivers' survival tips on the loading screen, which are almost always hilarious, and the dialogue with your shipmates being ridiculous.
Watching Helldivers in action is great for crew morale. It's even better than a dissident execution.
Another thing about the dialogue, apparently nobody on your Super Destroyer has been to Super Earth.
I haven't set foot on Super Earth myself, but I've heard it's even more spectacular in person.
Super Earth really is the best place to live in the entire galaxy, isn't it? Sometimes when I can't sleep, I imagine what it would be like to live there.
Maybe it's a dump. I don't know. This guy is likely being to Super Earth, but he works for the Ministry of Truth, so, you know, screw this guy.
Managed democracy offers true freedom. Freedom from the burden of choice.
Screw him and his invisible coffee cup. Arrowhead, this game is amazing. As a man who grew up playing the Halo series, this is the ODST game that I always dreamt about. I imagine I'm not the only one. Make the game available on Xbox. The community will only grow stronger with my fellow Halo nerds at our backs, and finally, the triumvirate of Xbox, PlayStation, and PC will be united under the glorious banner of managed democracy and fighting for humanity. It would be epic, I'm just saying. This is one of the greatest gaming communities I've ever witnessed. It is on the level of the Halo community at its peak. I am so excited that I get to participate in this one at its peak as well. If Arrowhead plays their cards right, I am certain that this game will have the momentum to be the grounds to hold one of the most legendary gaming events in history. Something on the level of Wrath of the Lich King expansion in WoW. Like, something that big. Something where the whole community rallies together against one massive threat. It depends on the story that the Game Master, simply known as Joel, has brewing in the background. But if Helldivers 2 ends with the destruction of managed democracy, humanity's galactic domination that leaves them only to be challenged by something beyond the known universe, or something in between, the potential community narrative that this game has the potential to tell would suck to not be a part of. Give it a try. Or in other words, dear viewer,
join the Helldivers.
hello! Thank you so much for watching this video. I know it's not a super in-depth review like my usual fare, but I just wanted to talk about Helldivers. I also just wanted to contribute my very little voice into the sea of other voices that are trying to get this game put on Xbox. Sorry for the wait on this one. This video was originally planned as something I would make in between my next big deep dive to tide you guys over to the next big deep dive. But unfortunately, I was stricken with immense writer's block, and on top of that, one day, my left shoulder just decided to stop working and be in immense pain for some reason. I'm fucking old. So I was dealing with a lot of stress due to that, because I literally could not move my left shoulder. I couldn't even sit at my desk. Like, the arm being bent was too painful. So I've been getting physiotherapy and stuff like that, and my arm now works again. Hooray. And it's not in immense pain anymore. But there's still more work to be done. Anyways, video. Have you been playing Helldivers 2? What do you think of the game? Did you like my little monologue that I wrote, performed, and edited at the start there? That was a fun little experiment for me. Let me know down in the comments. Well, with all that said and done, I appreciate you watching the video. It means the most. Seriously. Have yourselves a good day, stay safe out there, and I will see you in the next video. Have a good one. Yo, holy shit. So I just finished editing the video. I'm gonna post it probably tomorrow. The automatons are fucking dead. Which means my little monologue that I wrote is out of date, but that's okay. Good job, Helldivers. Let's go get those bugs.